I mean, there's still some execution things that we could improve on. I mean, we're always in search of the perfect game, right? And I don't know if we're ever going to find it, but I think guys played really hard and gave themselves a chance to be successful, and they made plays, and it was awesome. So proud of them, fun to watch.
We saw Clay Duke with his hand on the ground for a bit for the first time. Is that a sign of things to come, or just that game?
No, I mean, that's something that we've always kind of had in the works is we can always use him as an extra rusher if we need to. He has understanding of what we're doing at defensive end. Gradually more and more we're trying to earn him more rushes throughout the course of the year. I think that started to improve once we got into conference play, and we want to get him doing what he does best, and that is what he does best for sure.
Any update on Daniel Green's status for Saturday?
Yeah, he's been practicing a little bit. Yeah, he's going to be day-to-day game time decision.
And then talk a little bit about Nick Allen stepping in for Daniel on Saturday as well.
Yeah, Nick was awesome, and we knew he was going to be. He's just total control of the game, total control of what he's doing. I just vocal kid, similar to Deuce in a lot of ways, I couldn't be happier for him and how he's filled in not only there, but throughout the duration of the TCU game as well.
You guys have obviously played some pretty good receivers in the Big 12, Johnson, Hutchinson. Where does Xavier Worthy kind of stack up in that?
I'd have a hard time getting a draft going with those guys. I mean, they're all different. They're all different, used differently. They're all special in their own ways. Worthy's deal is he's just incredibly fast. Just not nearly as big as the others, but tough to get your hands on him in space and the route concepts that they do with him are a little different than they would do with some of the others. I think he's got a little bit more in his cachet, so to speak, than maybe some of the other guys that are fade ball guys. And he's a special player.
Were Saturday snaps impactful reps for Crew Jackson for the future?
Yeah, that was cool to get him some. But Crew and guys like Crew, absolutely. Jake Clifton, I thought grew immensely throughout the week. From the late Wednesday edition of moving him to Mike Backer, as a true freshman to be able to know all three linebacker spots and to make that change in the middle of a week and then to go out there and do what he did was incredible. VJ Payne played 25 snaps as a true freshman. Jacob Parrish played 30 snaps as a true freshman, somewhere in that ballpark. So it was cool to get a lot of those guys, those reps. They're all good.
Who was the impactful party for the sideline interference?
I'll say it was not me. I don't know if I should incriminate anybody else, but it was not me. Somebody told me it was me after the game. I said, I promise it wasn't me. I obey Coach True and his guidelines back there.
How big of a problem are Bijan and Roshan?
Unbelievable 1-2 punch, especially when they're in the game together. I think Roshan opened our eyes a year ago with what he did against us. Just as the game wore on, he wore us down, and obviously didn't get a chance to see Bijan a year ago when we were down there. But his tape speaks for itself. But it's just I don't know if there's a better tandem in the country, and both of them could be All-Americans anywhere that they played, and those two present problems.
Based on what you saw last year, a lot of Wildcat that hurt you, do you expect to see it again?
I would think so at some point in the game. I don't know if they're going to do it as in the frequency that they did it last year. I think last year there was 16 snaps in the game of Wildcat, and I think they had it was a short week, and there were a lot of other factors going into that too. But I don't know. I think that's definitely something that they're capable of doing. And shoot, Roshan even threw 2 passes, if I recall, in last year's game. And so they've got a lot of offense that they can do out of that stuff. But I don't know. It's probably hard to explain to Arch Manning and those kind of quarterbacks if you're going to be in Wildcat for 16 snaps of a game. I don't think that's the way they want to make their living. But I absolutely will be ready to handle it.
Everyone kind of talks about the importance of the front seven when slowing down that running back tandem, but how important is the secondary when trying to slow that down?
Yeah, with what we do, that's what it's going to come down to a lot of times is our ability from the third level to come up and make those plays. And, and we're certainly part of that run fit. And then in the same respect, being able to handle some of the RPO glances and some of the RPO things that they do and that everybody does. And so that's the that's going to be the cat and mouse game a little bit, is how we place our pieces and how they try to attack it.
Whenever you play a team that's coming off a bye or an idle week, whatever you want to call it, like Texas is, how much do you prepare for the unknown stuff you haven't seen before on film?
It's definitely a different deal. As I was saying earlier, two things I don't love is I don't love playing teams the first game of the season, and I don't love playing teams coming off of a bye, especially this late in the year. And especially Texas, because I'm sure they've got 150 analysts in their offices that are, able to sort through a bunch of things. But I think that, the good and bad of that is, sometimes, when we come off a bye, sometimes I thought when we had our bye, I thought we were in a really good rhythm. And then that we had that bye that probably wasn't the opportune time for it. And not that we came back any worse, but it sometimes it slows that rhythm down too temporarily. So it is what it is. I mean, everybody gets an opportunity to get a week throughout the course of the year. It just so happens that as long as it doesn't happen every week, it's inevitable that it's going to happen sometime.
Is it safe to assume you probably don't have many complaints with Echo and they got flagged there for defensive pass?
I don't know how you could have played that any better. When you're totally turned around and got somebody closed off and you got your hands up in the air ready to catch the ball and you get pulled to the ground and they call you for the flag, I take a little issue with that. But I was really happy with the technique that the corners played with the ball down the field. We didn't come down with any of them. But, they did what we thought they would do. They were going to take 5 or 6 shots throughout the course of the game. And it was very important that we stayed on top of those, and we did. And, that was a big difference. I mean, that's how they've beaten people, Oklahoma State, is those chunk fade ball passes, and we just didn't allow them.
Does Texas offensive line pulls in any way resemble what K-State does and what you see in practice?
The physicality level of it is probably higher than what we've seen here. There's some pretty good O-lines in the league, but I would put them right up there. I mean, some of those young kids that they have are going to be tremendous football players. But, I think that philosophically they want to knock you off the ball. I mean, they're not a waddle and gather type operation similar to us. I think that's what we want to, is we want to get movement at the point of attack, and we want to get that back started downhill and then make the cuts from there. And I think that's the same type of philosophy that they have. Schematically different, but philosophically similar.
Quinn Ewers is obviously incredibly talented, and for a redshirt freshman, aside from his arm talent, what really sticks out to you on film about him?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he missed. I would like to have a better gauge on that, missing that time. But yeah, that's just it. His arm talent is incredible, and I think with that extra time of the bye week, I think that will help him maybe to see pictures a little bit cleaner. So we've got to do a good job of mixing our things up.
Have you done anything special to simulate tackling Bijan Robinson in practice this week?
No, I wish I had a great thing for you there, but I don't. We just we tackle, we thud in practice, and we do it probably as violently and as often as anybody in the country. And so I think we're ready for that. Can you simulate that? I don't know if you can simulate that with a freshman tailback coming downhill, but no, I mean that's the game. I mean we're gonna be ready to take him on physically.